Yeah, good day, viewers. Welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be looking at some UI performance tools. What are UI performance tools? These are tools used to know and to know the performance and the quality of a web page. So now I'll be going through some tools. Which one is Lighthouse? So before I talk about Lighthouse, let's go to the website and see how it works. So entering the website, polozis.com. It's a e-commerce website where clothes items and other stuffs are being sold online. Yeah, you should check it out. So to use the Lighthouse extension, open another tab and search for Lighthouse Chrome extension. Searching for Lighthouse Chrome, it brings out all this as a result. So you click at the first link, Lighthouse for Google Chrome. After clicking on it, it takes you to the Chrome Web Store and it brings out the Lighthouse extension. So you add to Chrome, wait for some minutes. So you add extension, then Lighthouse is on your extension. Listen. So Lighthouse has been added to Chrome. So now we can make use of it if you want to check a UI performance of website. So now let's go back to our Apollo's website. Then click on the extension button and this is it, Lighthouse. So you click on it, click on generate report, then it loads for results. So what it's doing right now is working on the website to generate reports like how well the web page is and what it needs to be repaired in it. So let's talk about Lighthouse now. Lighthouse is actually a open source automated tool for improving the performance, quality, and correctness of a web app. So now it's as loaded already. So now we can see the performance, we can see accessibility, we can see the best practices, the SEO, and the PWO. These are all what the Lighthouse rated the app, and these are the percentage on how good and how bad some aspect of the website is. So firstly, we can see the performance. So the performance is the overall performance score and metric value of the website. Actually, it actually changes. It changes. So it changes varies to some aids being served on the web page, or the internet traffic, or the desktop or devices different performance. So it actually fluctuates. But for now, after running the test, this was what we come to see. So now let's explore how Lightroom really work and what it actually brings out. So now we can see the first contentful paint. What do we understand by first contentful paint, which is 1.9 seconds? Expand view. To learn more, we click on this place. So actually, this measures how long it takes the browser to render the first piece of DOM content. What do I mean by DOM? I mean DOM. These are also images. These are elements, which are canvas elements and SVGs on your page. So this actually measures how long it takes the images on your website to be seen to the web user. So as you can see, the performance first contentful paint, it measures it takes the browser to render the first piece of DOM content. Yes, as I've said. So, and this is how it's been scored. If zero from the point zero to 1.8 is what is being brought out here, that means the the FCP is fast. Then when it's 1.8 to 3, that means it's moderate. But when it's over 3, that means it's really slow. So that means it took time for the DOM content to navigate on the page. That means to be seen on the page. And how to improve your first contentful um first contentful paint. Oh man. Oh, sorry for that. So to improve it, we need to manage our layers, which are most of our JavaScripts. So we have to manage them, like take away all unnecessary elements that was declared on in the script. So and also we need to promote elements which actually which we are planning to use in the which you are planning. We should need to promote elements you are planning to animate. So any other elements in your codes that are not really functional should be eradicated. So it actually focuses on what really we want to use. So if you promote an element, it should be the element you want to animate. So those are how to improve your FCP. So moving to the next one, which is the time to interactive. This time to interactive, it measures how long it takes a page to become fully interactive, as you can see over there. So it creates, if when the time to interactive is kind of slow, it creates a user experience where the site is ready but the user can't operate anything. Like when you click, it doesn't click. So that is caused by time to interactive. And this is very essential because you won't want to open a web page and after it's fully loaded and you see it's ready, then you do some like scroll or click and it doesn't happen. So this is because of the TTI, and it's caused by um different different causes, and which are network costs. When more bytes are being processed or by a bit compressed. So when your codes are not well compressed, it gives issues why when the page is loading, which actually delays the TTI. So you need to what to compress your codes, make them as portable so as to what to make them run faster. So it won't really what as in have much network costs. So the next one is when the main thread is busy compiling JS code. This is also a cause that actually slows down the TTI. So when the main thread main thread is what is compiling JS codes. When JS codes are too much to compile, it actually causes some laggings in TTI. And let's move to the next attribute, which is the speed index. The speed index shows how quickly the content of a page are visibly populated. Yes, it actually measures how quickly content is visibly displayed during page load. Yeah. So when you launch into a website and it takes time for all what the contents are inside to be visible to you, that means the speed index is slow and needs some work to be done on. So as you can see here, speed index measures how quickly content is visually displayed during page load. Lighthouse first captures a video of the page loading in the browser and computes the visual progression between frames. Yes, and he said it used speedline nodes.js module to generate the speed index. That's what is actually used. The speedline nodes.js module is used in generating the speed index of the score. Yeah. So these are the speed index at the color grading when it's between 0 to 3.4. It's first. When it's between 3.4 to 5.8 is moderate, but when it's over 5.8, then it's really slow and needs to be worked on as soon as possible. Now, how to improve your speed index score: minimize main thread work, reduce JavaScript execution time, ensure that remains visible, ensure text remains visible during web font load. Yeah, so that's how to improve your speed index score. Yeah, you can come here to know more about it. So I'm just here to, you know, make you see what it actually does. So now moving to the next one, which is total blocking time. Total blocking time. What is the total blocking time is for? This sums of all time period between the first contentful page and time of interactive when task length exceeds 500 milliseconds expressed in, yeah. So this total blocking time actually gives information about how long it took the page to load, like what was the speed of the page when it was being accessed. So it's actually, yeah, as we've read before, total page, yes, and everything. So it measures the total amount of time that a page is blocked from responding to users' input, such as mouse click, screen taps, or keyboard presses. Yeah. No, there are some websites when you get to and you try to like input your data, like you want to input your name. So after clicking on it, it actually takes some time to before it's being processed and before the cursor gets into the um into the box. So that is actually caused by TBT. It's actually what that what TBT actually measures. It measures the time it took before the user can actually now can actually now access the web page. Yeah. So and the TBT score is a comparison of your page TBT time and the TBT times millions of real sites when loaded on mobile devices. Yeah, it actually shows it times of millions of real sites when loaded on mobile devices. So, and these are the time, score, and the color grading. When it's used more than between 0 to 200 milliseconds, that means it's first. When it's used 200 to 600, that means it's moderate. Then when it's over 600 milliseconds, that means it's really slow. And how to how to fix and how to improve your TBT score. Yeah, so unnecessary JavaScript loading, parsing, or execution. When there are unnecessary JavaScript loading in your codes, it actually decreases the your responsiveness of your web page. So you have to try your best in making the necessary JavaScript codes in your script. So it shouldn't be jam packed. So you have to reduce JavaScript payload with code splitting or removing unused codes. Yes, inefficient JavaScript statements. For example, after analyzing your code in the performance panel, suppose you see a call document dot query selector all and returns 2000 notes. So these are what you need to know to improve your TBT score. So now let's move to the next one, which is the largest contentful paint. Non-conforming paint marks the time at which the largest text or image is painted. Yes, this actually measures how long it took the largest image or text block visible within the viewpoint. Yeah. So when you get into your website and you clicked on enter to go straight to the website, then it takes time for you can see the place in which the image is supposed to be, but it didn't appear there as early as possible. So the LCP actually measures the time in which that event happens. So yeah, and this is the time and the color coding. So when you check your your time in the LCP is 18.1 seconds, which is kind of so very slow. So how to improve your site: slow server response time, rendering render block in JavaScript and CSS, resource load times, client side rendering. So these are what actually causes affects the LCP score and makes it slow. Yeah, so you need to work on that as a programmer. So going to the next one, which is the cumulative layout shift. Kind of really happens a lot in some web pages. It happens to me. So sometimes if I just want to go into a web page and trying to click on uh so let's look at it. So cumulative layout shift measures the moment of visible elements with within the viewpoint. Yeah, this shows it actually helps to quantify how often user experience unexpected layout shift. Like you trying after loading a page, you think okay that's all. Then you try on clicking something, then another thing like that you wanted to click a button, then the button goes down, then another like text or link comes there. So you just be like, no, but it was right here before. How did it get there and stuff like that? So this cumulative layout shift actually measures the visual stability. So how stable the items in the web page is. So you can see the description here actually when it actually happens. So when this is a page that has loaded, so I try on going to on clicking on no go back, then it switched to something other. So you try clicking back, but other is completed already. So the CLS measures it, then it shows the score and um what is needed to do. So let's check on um what is good. So how to know if this is good or needs improvement or poor. So when it's 0 to 0.1 is good. So when it takes zero, so when to get this, that means when your page is loaded and everything needs to be there at once. So no coming from no any other thing coming into it or switching of layouts and stuff like that. So yes, I don't have to go through all this, so I'm just scrolling past them. This actually shows you what really happens in some um, graphical representation. So this is how it's measured, and yeah, how to improve your CLS. Always include size attributes on your image and video element. So when you put the video or the image on your web page, it doesn't just just fill anyhow space. But when it has been given a size attribute that okay, this is how you are going to appear, so it won't actually exceed that. So that will improve your cumulative layout shift. Then and also never insert content above existing content except in response to a user interaction. So this ensure any layout shift that occurs are expected. Yeah, so you can so this is when maybe the user actually clicked on button, then it's expected that something comes on it, or when it goes down and something appears at the exact point. So prefer transform animations to animations of properties that triggers payout changes. The animated transition in a way that provides context and continuity from state to state. Yeah, so that's actually also how to improve the CLS. Now let's move to the next part. Yeah, we're done with the performance. Let's move. And also these opportunities. This actually is kind of very useful. They said serve image in next gen format. So when you click on it, it brings out a bunch of stuffs which really wasn't, it wasn't at the next gen format, or the page format is not that right. So image format like WebP and AVIF often provide better compression than PNG or JPEG. Yeah, which means faster downloads and less data consumption. Yeah, it actually gives us a insight that if you want to like use a image on your web page, it's advisable to use a WebP in a WebP format or a AVIF format. So now this is like a image in the web page, and it's displayed over there. So the resource size, which was 488.5 kilobyte, and the potential saving 386 kilobytes, which was if it was in a like web P format, it will be lesser than this. So less. So we have bunch of other things like that also. So let's move to the next one. Efficient code encode images. Efficiently encode images. Yeah, so this actually tells us that optimized images load faster and consume less cellular data. When you mean optimized images, This actually means images that has actually been, trimmed before being uploaded. So you can't just expect like a big image should be up like a 1244 by 758 images be uploaded to a web page, and the size is lesser than that. Definitely it will consume less that and more data than what is actually supposed to be consumed. So this is what actually gives us that okay, you just need to change some things here. So let's move to the next one, which is properly sized image. So this is mostly kind of you know what it actually goes wrong. So it serves images that are appropriately sized to save cellular data and improve load time. Yeah, so the resource size, which is 108 kilobytes, and the potential saving, which is 106. So you can just let's go right here, properly sizing image. The so this actually that resize this image to save data and improve payload. So that means the image is too like big. So you can actually do a good by reducing by resizing it to something with a smaller size. So it can easily load when the web page is being accessed. So let's move to the next one. Reduce initial server response time is actually also so as a programmer, this actually helps you to okay, this is what I need to do and this is what I need to do, and there are bunches and more of it in here. So now let's move to this diagnostic. So this diagnostic, a long cache lifetime can speed up repeat visit to your page. So clicking on learn more actually brings you to another page which explains better what it means by that, which is HTTP caching can speed up your page load time or repeat visits. When a browser requests when a browser requests a resource, the server provides the resource can tell the browser how long it should temporarily store a cache the resource. For any subsequent request for that resource, the browser uses it locally copy rather than getting it from the network. So this is actually what talking about the so now let's move to the accessibility tag. It actually checks the opportunities to improve the accessibility of the web app. So now the names and labels, the buttons do not have an accessible name. So now let's check it out. So we can see a search button over here. It doesn't have an accessible name. That means when the button tag was actually created, there wasn't a accessible button at the middle of the opening and closing tags, which can actually be useful for people that may want to check. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. There isn't nothing at the middle. So which actually gives people that actually want to check out the page what actually is inside the button tag. But normally, it's actually a button, but you have to be, be precise. Like, okay, this is what is inside. Like this, like book room, that's what's inside the button, which actually is kind of awkward. So, and that's just how it's actually. So it brings out bunches of bunch of other icons or divs or buttons which was not actually given an accessible name. So image elements do not have auto attributes. This is not. This is actually. These are um some important things that are not to be displaced by programmers. When creating an image tag, you need to put an alternative text in it, which actually shows even if the image wasn't able to appear, the text would be able to appear. And list did not contain only list, that's list item elements and script supporting elements, scripts and templates, and heading elements are not in a sequential descending order, so shows you what you need to do and how to fix them. And let's go to the best practices. It actually talks on displays image with incorrect aspect ratio. This is really one of the problems that actually affects best practices. So we see these are image, and actually when before it was being uploaded, it's actually a 150 by is actually a 2933 by 757 page size, but when uploaded it was shrinked into a ratio of a size of 150 by 35. See how big the gap is. So it's very very advisable for 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 programmers to actually work on what they want to upload and what they want to be to put on the website. So the size, so that the size can actually match what is actually going for. Or if it doesn't really match, but at least it should be kind of closer. Can you see the gap over here? 2933 by 755, and so gap, so wide. So should try to fill that gap and ensure CSP is effective against SS attacks. This actually does not have any is not in the web page, so it doesn't bring out any information about that. So missing source map for large first party JavaScript. So this also is there. The SOE, this checks and ensure that your page is following basic search engine optimization advice. So image elements now have auth, yeah, and tab targets are not sized appropriately, but we are kind of safe here because it's green, and that's kind of safe. It's not bad. So we are down to the PWA. This checks validate and aspects of progressive web app. So web app manifests or service workers do not meet this actually is, check it out on screen. Really? Okay, guys, work on that actually. And all does not register a service worker that controls page. And actually the web are actually, you know Pologis are actually text run with Lighthouse. Is actually an upcoming website, commerce website, which would be is actually deployed already, but has some other things to patch up with. So I guess with all what you said, you can be able to know what the Lighthouse actually does. Is actually so helpful. So now we'll be looking at another UI performance tool, which actually is kind of related to the you know Lighthouse. This is what Web Vitals. So you can search for it, Web Vitals. If you don't have it, Web Vitals. Chrome extension. So Web Vitals, then click on it. Then you takes you to the web store. Then you access it. I'm having a slow network over here. So you add it to Chrome. Then so let's see how it works. So you go to your when after it's been added to the Chrome extension, click on the session icon, then Web Vitals, and click on it. So it actually processed the some things of the web page actually kind of related to that of Lighthouse, but it's actually like a mini Lighthouse, just very fast and you know. So the largest contextual paint scored it 1.956 seconds. Yeah, so and the CLS, the face payload waiting, but I guess you guys grab the idea. So it's kind of a mini lighthouse. So this will be the end of leg today's lex. This will be the end of today's video. So I guess you were able to learn one or two things about this light. So in our next video, we'll be talking on replay. Yeah, replay is like very essential tools for for developers, especially when it's like a group of developers. So meet you there next video. Bye for now.